The outside looking in, MARALA Scott's childhood looked idyllic, but the reality was far from it. Now she's put her story on paper. The book is called In Our House, Perception versus Reality. Her story of forgiveness and healing is meant to help others overcome abuse in their own lives. Even Oprah Winfrey has taken notice and named Scott as one of her ambassadors of hope. And check out Daredevil. Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong. We're going to go right now and bring in our guest, MARALA. And let's talk about the book. In Our House is really trying to break down perceptions versus reality and what you went through. I know that you described your father as being very charismatic. People who met him on the outside world would think he was a wonderful man, but that was not your reality at home.
That is very true. A lot of times what goes on behind closed doors is not the reality for many people. And when they go outside of those doors, the perception that they allow you to see is typically totally different. My father was recruited at a right out of college with 5 children, one on the way, by IBM and the CIA. He was very intelligent, very charismatic, very gorgeous, and the perception of him was people were in awe of him. It was very different.
Why write the book? Do you think that many families have abuse in them, or is this a message that should resonate with any family?
Any family, because what happens when it comes to abuse, no matter what form it is, there's psychological abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and people don't know how to deal with it. They still are shamed and not wanting to talk about it. So it perpetuates a situation, and then it goes and carries over to your children if you have children. People don't know how to stop the cycle. And if you take it, you wonder why your children, these kids are growing up nowadays, and they're going into schools with guns, because you never know what they've taken in as a child in their own household. So it has to be brought, to the surface where we start talking about it and doing something about it before that cycle begins. How do you end it?
Is this your true story, or has it been fictionalized? Why would you describe it?
That's a true story. As horrific as that story is, it really encompasses a lot about life and reality, and it takes you through my journey, beginning when I was 5 years old, all the way through that house and what we went through, what we experienced, and then dealing with the pain. When people read that book, they are in awe of what I came through, and they want to know, how do you heal? So that's what I like to teach people, is how do you get past all the pain and hurt when someone has hurt you terribly that perhaps you love, or maybe it's someone you never even knew. You have to forgive them. Well,
if you've walked the planet, you've probably been injured in some way. It is somewhat the human experience. Right. What is the most healing agent that you think you can give to another person?
The most healing agent is to let it go and tell them, you know what, I'm through with this. Because when you let go, what you're telling the person is, you don't have any power over me anymore. I'm not angry with you. It happened, it's in the past. As we know, we can't change history. That's why it's called history. No one can change it. And when you learn that, you can't change what happened. The only thing you can do is let it go. There's so many people that take medications and blood pressure medicine because they are hurt and angry and don't know how to deal with it. And the way to deal with it is release it. It's not about the other person. It's more about you than anything else. It's empowering, it's liberating, and you'll realize you weren't living until you let go of that pain.
And finally, your father is no longer living.
No.
So
my dad
how
passed
did
on.
you make peace with him while he was still here physically on Earth?
We had actually a very good relationship. After everything happened, it was very traumatic, it was very difficult, but I had to forgive him. And through my faith in God, it allowed me to do that. And once you make peace with it and realize that I'm not the judge, he's going to have to answer to God, then I was able to do so.
Okay.
And so it was worthwhile.
MARALA Scott, we thank you so much. And once again, the book is In Our House. Jeff?
All right, guys, thank you very much.